Hi, so I am terrified of what I have decided that I want to do today. This is a design for a fighter that I drew up and come on. That looks so good. It's like such a classic design for a fighter with a guard. I think it looks amazing. But what I decided to do is I want to make this all out of one piece of steel, which might not sound like a lot. Obviously the handle is going to be wood, but it's a whole lot more difficult than forging it out of two pieces. Just for reference, this is a knife I made a long time ago. Don't make fun of it. As far as the actual blacksmithing on this goes, it's pretty simple. The blade is flat. Guard is like, there's a little bit of detail. Those two bends. But making those both one piece is three-dimensional as heck. And that would be a pretty challenging knife to forge for like a master bladesmith, for someone who really knows what they're doing. And like, it's doable, of course, but like I'm nowhere near that level, so I haven't done any bladesmithing that's quite that complicated. But I would love to, and the only way to do it is to like do it, you know. So I got these pieces of scrap steel that I got from a real estate agent's dead dad. Don't ask, I will not elaborate. And it's very similar dimensions to the pieces of good knife steel that I'm actually going to make this out of. So I'll cut one of these pieces off as a little test piece to forge this out, so I have a general idea what I'm doing. You know what might be an even better idea? Is to use, a piece like this, a very thin piece, make like a mini knife, like an absolutely tiny knife. So then I actually know what to do, and that'll be a whole lot faster than that super thick piece of steel. I think that'll be the best idea. I'm going to forge a mini little integral bolster hunter, a little tiny one, so I have a general idea of what I'm supposed to do, and then I'll move to some scrap that's a lot closer to size than the final material I'm gonna use, and then forge out of the good stuff and actually make the knife. Wow. That didn't do anything besides mess it up. Oh no. Ow, I forgot the hammer. It's only going this way. It's not going out that way. Is that gonna work? Like, no. It needs to be flat right here and then pull in. I have no idea how to do that. Let me cut this off and restart, try something different. Bending where I need it to bend. Yeah, it's just pushing. I think it's the small stock is the problem. So this stock just isn't really going to work. A big problem that I was having is I couldn't get like a tight enough isolation on this piece to get a really good bite, to get like material moving. It just wasn't really happening with that small of stock. So I think I need to look at this at a little bit of a different perspective. Let me draw this out. So what I was trying to do is to get, I don't know, a piece like that as the preform, where this will be the blade, that's like the ricasso, this section. I was trying to squish down this way to get these to pull out to make that guard, which I thought would work. Even drawing it out, it seems like it would work, but the main problem was this corner right here. Getting that corner started was really difficult, and I don't think this is the right perspective. What I want to try to do, this can go straight into the blade like that. I drew the exact same thing. To squish it down, face down this way, to then start squishing this out, there'd be like little bulges, and then I can forge that down into the guard that I want. By squishing it down straight away, the only problem is if I'm going to have the thickness to do that. I want the final blade to be probably 600 to 700 thou thick, the final like ricasso. That's usually how thick handles want to be, like a little less than 3/4 of an inch. And I'll see if I can get that to work with, I'm gonna move to one of these questionably acquired spikes. So, looking, I need a little bit more width, but all of this preform is turning out pretty nice. I'll see how doing the guard does. Wow, okay. So I just looked at some videos of people forging some integral guards like I'm trying to do right now, and I think my main problem with this is I'm doing too much before I start forging the lugs for the guards. I think that's my main problem with this, because I really can't do anything, because all of that is gonna completely mess up this whole section right here. So I don't think I should isolate the tang at all, and I don't think I should put that nick in for the blade before forging out the guards, the lugs. And a tool that I think will be really useful is a round punch to really help, instead of using like the peen of the hammer, this part of the hammer to hit, have a punch that I can hold by hand similar to that. So I think I'll make it out of this piece of a 4340. Make a little punch on one side so I can hit it on the hammer at the other side, and isolate things a lot better that way. So I'll make that punch out of this thing and then do another practice piece, hopefully the final practice piece. It's just slipping. Ah! That didn't work at all. Take this. This isn't working. That's been like the best so far, but like that's just not working. This is
gonna be way too small.
This is really difficult. I'm wondering if it's just because the stock size is too thin is why this isn't really working. And if I go straight to a 1.5 inch round, if that'll work. I'm like 50% on if that would work. But I've been 100% that everything else I've tried so far would work, and none of it has. Okay, I got one last idea. Let's see if it'll work. This is it. This is the way to do this. I don't have like any tang right now, but I'm sure that is something that will come when I move to much thicker stock. Fingers crossed I don't mess up the good steel, because that's a lot of steel to mess up. But I think I can do it. So small problem there, we don't have a tang. And that will be kind of important for putting a handle on this knife later. So what I think I'm just gonna do is TIG weld on a little piece of just mild steel will be fine. I could technically forge weld on something, but honestly, I don't want to, and I think TIG welding with 100% penetration will end up being stronger than forge welding it, but besides that, it is looking so good. This is one of the most challenging things that I've had myself do in knife making for a while. I am really happy with how this turned out. It's not perfect, but I've learned a lot about integral guards and kind of bolsters on this, so I think this will be a really cool proof of concept for Damascus later at some point, but why am I talking about future stuff? We still gotta finish this knife. So next video, I'll weld the tang on, get all the handle on there, and get all like, you know, I need to grind it and harden it and all that stuff. That shouldn't take too long, but that's all that I'm doing right now. So I hope you have a safe drive home. Goodbye.